Welcome back to the second part of our award-winning gumbo recipe. Miles, will you take it from here?
Yeah, so now that we got our roux done, we're gonna kind of complete this in a way. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna add the vegetables, we're gonna add all the rest of the ingredients, and then after that point, we're really just gonna let it cook from there. All right, so we got our roux working here. We got our butter melting down for our veggies over here. So what we're gonna do, go ahead and add our vegetables right now. We're gonna do those in a separate pot. I like to do all my ingredients in a separate container and then bring them all together at the end. Because you don't want to, mainly for the sake of time, because gumbo is kind of a long process. So this will save you time for sure. Because if you're just gonna saute your vegetables in the roux, which a lot of people do, you have to wait for the roux to be done. We're not gonna do that today, we're going to cook the vegetables now. So we're gonna add our onion here. We're gonna add our celery. Should get it all in there, we don't lose any of that. And we're gonna add our green bell pepper, all in the same pot. I'd say use about 5 minutes or so, just get that, get them aromatic, get them a little translucent, get them softened, and then we'll start adding more ingredients to that. I would use this for your Cajun style gumbo. This is a nice peanut butter. You get a little black flecks in there. Like I said, it's starting to get darker. We'll probably go on this. Now I kick the heat up a little bit on this just to kind of get it going. But we'll go even darker than this. It's gonna almost look black. Like it's gonna be not quite a dark chocolate, but a nice milk chocolate is what we're gonna go for here. And we're pretty close to that. We're probably about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes away from that. You want to keep stirring it. You want to be present when you're cooking your roux, because you can burn it very quickly. Like if I let this sit for 5 minutes and go watch Desperate Housewives or something, it's gonna burn. I watch Vanderpump Rules.
Oh my goodness.
Alright guys, so we're pretty much there on our roux. While we were doing our roux, I went ahead and started our vegetables. Again, separate pot. All of our bell pepper, onion, celery. Brought those down, simmered those down, kind of made them fork tender essentially. Seasoned that level, add the garlic, add the stewed tomatoes or the diced tomatoes, canned tomatoes, whatever you want to use. If you use stewed tomatoes, like the whole tomatoes, you're just going to want to break them up into pieces obviously. So you can go diced tomatoes if you want. Brought that down, so we're looking good there. So at this point, we are going to incorporate our ingredients together. Now,
there's smoke.
I will urge you, this is very important. I'm going to have Tino add this to the roux. Just do it very slowly, please, Tino. I don't want to burn my face off. Alright, here it is.
Whoa, check that out.
Keep stirring. It's going to cool itself down.
Oh, that looks great.
I know. But you can see how thick it is now. Those vegetables are in there. It's freaking awesome.
Well, when do we add the broth?
So now we're going to add the liquid to it. So the vegetables have cooled things down a little bit so that we can add the liquid to it. So again, we're going to do a combination. We'll show you both. We're doing chicken sausage and shrimp today. So we're using a chicken stock, but you can definitely use a seafood stock at this point. So go ahead and add. We're going to have both boxes here. And how many ounces are these boxes left, Tino?
32 ounces in each box.
32 ounces, so adding about 64 ounces. And Tino's know how to open a box. There we go. Alright, so we've added the stock here. Let's go ahead and add the Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire?
Yep, go ahead and put it in. We got about, I'd say, 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce. So we're going to add a little pepper, we're going to add a little salt, a little paprika, a little cayenne pepper. We got a lot of flavor already from the vegetables and from the chicken, which we haven't added yet. But again, that's another level. You want to season your chicken. Sausage already has a lot of flavor in it. Paprika's here, thank you. So a little more paprika. Let's add a little color too, that's great. I'd say go easy on the salt at first. You can always add a little salt later and make it a little more salty. salt. We're going to stir that. So we're going to kick our heat up now to about 7. Because what we're going to do is, now that we've got all these ingredients incorporated, we've got a nice liquid base here, we're going to bring it to a simmer, bring it to a boil.
Just where we add the bay leaves?
You can add the bay leaves now. Yeah, go ahead and throw them in there. Once all the liquid's added, you can pretty much add almost everything. So we got the bay leaves added now. Once we bring it to a boil, then we're going to add our protein. That's where we're going to take that time and add those things. Now, something that we did earlier, we took our sausage or our andouille, we browned that off in the same pot that you're going to do the roux in, because you're going to use that grease from the sausage to add to your roux base. Same thing with the chicken thighs. Again, we use thighs. We're welcome to use chicken breasts. I like to use bone-in. Season those puppies up with the same ingredients: salt, pepper, paprika, cayenne pepper. We're going to brown those, same pan again. Same pan you're going to cook the roux in. Brown those on both sides, set them off to the side. We'll get to those later. We're going to add those here shortly. But go ahead and brown those and get them ready. What that's going to do is just going to lock in that flavor, kind of get those crispy bits. Also goes a little, a little extra fat, not too much, from the chicken thighs, or especially chicken breasts. Pretty much not going to get much fat, rendered from that. But just get a little extra flavor, it can't hurt. So, but I like to brown those off first, and then we'll actually cook the chicken the rest of the way in the gumbo itself while it boils. So, cook time on this. So we're getting pretty close to pay dirt, if you will. And cook time is always a big concern with people with making gumbo.
Right. Well, first, the big concern is the roux. How do I cook the roux? It's
Right.
30 minutes. It could be an hour. Just depending on the heat and your ability to be at there and stirring. So now we've added all the vegetables, bay leaves, and the liquid, the chicken's broth. So now comes the cooking time.
Now comes the cooking. This is kind of where the love comes in. If you can, minimum cook time for a gumbo, 3 hours. You really want to let it sit, let all those flavors come together. And that's not on a boil the whole time. That's on a simmer majority of the time, just on the stove top for about 3 hours. If you can go longer, the longer you can go, the better. If you can, I even recommend cooking it 3 to 5 hours, putting it in the refrigerator, letting it sit overnight, eating it the next day. So you're going to add your sausage now, you're going to add your chicken now. Those are going to cook with the whole cook time. We're going to add shrimp later. We're going to do, like I said, we're doing a shrimp and chicken and sausage gumbo. The shrimp are not going to take much time at all. You can add those much later. We're going to add them raw right in there, and those will cook in a few minutes once they're in the gumbo. So we'll add all the rest of the stuff. So basically what we're holding back now, we're going to hold back our parsley, we're going to hold back our shrimp, and that's pretty much it.
Do you want this chopped up or just throw it in there?
No, we want to leave it in whole. Yeah, again, brown on both sides. It's okay, it's raw in the middle. It's going to cook. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be in a pot of hot liquid for 3 to 5 hours. It's going to cook. And it's going to fall off the bone too. So we're going to add all that in there. Once we get time to the ending of it, we'll try to remove as many bones as we can. Good gumbo, you'll probably find a bone or two. And it just means that it actually did come off the bone and it wasn't just, boneless thighs or boneless breasts or whatever. Also, hot sauces. So again, heat levels, you want to manage that to your liking. Tina, we have that crystal right there?
Classic Louisiana sauce here.
Classic Louisiana hot sauce right here. My recommendations, and I'm sure you'll have your own take on it too. I love Crystal or Louisiana. Not a big, for this in particular, like the more vinegary hot sauces like Tabasco or whatnot, I don't like to use. What do you think?
I like to go with this Crystal. That's probably my favorite. Favorite. And then you're right, Louisiana. But then, I do like a little Tex-Mex flair to it, so I do like to add a little Chipotle, Tabasco Chipotle in there.
Oh, see that? So you've done you've done a Tex-Mex gumbo?
Yeah, just the hot sauce.
Just the hot sauce? Okay, yeah. That's the thing with gumbo. It's kind of what Louisiana was all based on. It's just melding of cultures. So that's, like I said, we'll come back here in a little bit and, check on it, add the rest of our herbs. We're going to add the parsley to it. So chop that nice and fine, add it to it later.
At this point, it's boiling. Do we cover it and let it cook? Or?
I would say give it a quick, 3/4 cover. Let that steam escape.
Okay.
And leave it.
Okay. The steam escaping will allow it to thicken up.
Yeah, I think so. We don't want to get thinned out, because if you have the lid on, that steam's going to turn the water and fall right back into the gumbo.
Right.
We don't want the water. We want it to reduce.
Right. Right.
And get thicker.
Okay.
So that's what we want to do. It's not going to get crazy thick, obviously, like a cream sauce, but it's going to thicken up a little bit, and that steam releasing is going to allow that to happen without falling water back into there.
All right.
Cool. All right. Fantastic.
All right, man. I'm excited.
We'll come back in a little bit.
I'm excited.
Me too. I'm ready to eat some.
Welcome back. Now the gumbo's been cooking for a while, so now it's time to. So what do we say, about 2-3 hours?
Yeah, we've been cooking for about 2-3 hours now.
Okay.
And at this point, we're getting close to service time, right?
Right.
So we're actually going to eat the gumbo.
Right. So there's another step that we have to do.
Yeah, there's one more step. So it all depends. Well, sort of. So you're going to want to add your herb here. So like I said, flat leaf parsley is one of the ingredients. This is where we're going to want to add that parsley. The reason we're adding it so late is we don't want to burn.
Okay.
It's a very delicate herb. It's fresh. We want to use fresh parsley. Try your best not to use the pre-ground, pre-dried parsley that you get in the store. Go buy some parsley. It's 78 cents for a bushel of parsley. Dice it up real fine.
So you're looking for flat parsley, not the Italian parsley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Italian flat leaf.
Italian flat leaf. Okay.
And then there's Italian curly.
Curly. Yeah.
So there's two different types of parsley out there. Honestly, doesn't matter. I like the flat leaf better.
Okay.
I think it's more aromatic. I think it's more herbal.
Okay.
Than the curly.
So after the herbs that you add in there, what else?
Right. So now we've added those in there. Already have the parsley in here, and so now at this point, if you're doing a seafood gumbo, this is when you want to add your seafood. The shrimp is not going to take very long to cook. You probably have already added crab in there if you're doing a crab gumbo, because that does take a little longer, adds a little more flavor the longer you cook it. But as far as shrimp goes, you want to add that late, because that doesn't take long to cook. It's going to take about 5, maybe 10 minutes to cook in there. But if you cook it too long, it's going to dry out, it's going to get rubbery, it's not going to be good. So you want to add that towards the end. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and add that shrimp in there.
And we got Texas Gulf Coast shrimp. And it's a little sweeter than your farm-raised Asian, Thai, Vietnamese shrimp. It's my favorite shrimp to use when I'm cooking. Would you agree, Miles?
I would, yeah. I would say one thing, just because, even though I'm from Texas, gotta support the whole Gulf Coast.
Support
the Gulf Coast doesn't belong
coast.
just to Texas.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, exactly. I totally agree.
But yeah, you're gonna add. I would agree. It's a little more sweetness to it. Gulf waters versus Thai waters and Vietnamese waters. Buy local.
Buy local.
So we're ready. We're ready to go. Gumbo's been cooking for hours. It's looking awesome. It's smelling awesome. We're ready to plate. One of the most popular plating option is white rice.
So if you need to know how to cook rice, go to the comments section, and we'll have the recipe. It's very simple. Just go down there and you can get it. But Miles, I've also seen recently in the last few years where potato salad is also an option in the rice.
I've heard the same thing. I've heard the same thing, Tino, and it's definitely an option. It's a break monotony kind of thing. The main thing with potato salad, it's a cold hot thing. That's the reason for it. So definitely use cold potatoes. Don't let it sit out. Get room temperature. You want it to be cold. It's a kind of a mustard and
mayonnaise
gumbo flavor.
Mustard mayonnaise flavor going in there.
It's a crazy flavor thing going on. So try it out. It's like if you get some gumbo left over, make one bowl on the rice. Make one bowl on the potato salad.
We're gonna try it out with the rice, primarily with the rice for sure, because that's the traditional way. I love it with the rice, like you.
Sure.
But we're gonna do potato salad also. Hell, why not, right?
Plating. So real quick, we're there. I hope you enjoyed the gumbo. I hope the recipe was awesome for you. Ratio is important. I'm a more gumbo to rice kind of guy. So if I'm plating mine, I'm looking at about quarter cup, half a cup of rice to about like 2 cups of gumbo. I like the broth, I like all that.
Miles, that broth is looking really good.
Oh man,
the chicken thigh has kind of shredded,
broken up.
You can see there's a shrimp over here. I can see, and it's perfect.
It looks awesome. We'll add one thing else to try. We like to add green onions at the end. Gives a nice little, I don't even know what you call it, just a umami flavor, if you will. So, if you want to dice up some green onions before you dine in and chow down on the gumbo, go for it. But that's our gumbo, and
it's award-winning gumbo.
So are we done?
Fredo's back!
Oh.
He finally came back!
Where are the spoons, man?
Oh,
hey, let's get some spoons, and we're gonna get down this thing.
Here we go, guys. Here we go. Spoon.
Try some. See if I was Cajun enough for you.
Is that Cajun enough? Come on, Alfredo, let us know. This fake Cajun over here, is he?
It's the ultimate test.
That's pretty good.
That's good stuff?
It's good. Man, that roux is dark. Let me get in there. Can I get in there?
Go for it, bro. Yeah, it's here to be eaten.
Oh man, the
smell?
aroma is amazing. That roux is really dark. Got some andouille sausage there, some rice.
I give that perfect bite.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
Have you tasted it, Miles? It's really good.
Let me get some of that. Let me see if it's award winning.
Oh man.
Just like our previous one.
Don't get that bay leaf.
No, I don't want that.
No.
Yeah, take the bay leaves out. I can live in that. I can live in that, ladies and gentlemen.
That is outstanding. That roux turned out really good. Thank you, Miles.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all for having me.
And
I really had a good time.
And thank everybody for watching. If you like it, please subscribe. That big red button down there.
The red button.
And we will have more episodes. We're trying to do one every 2 weeks, but hopefully soon we'll do a little more often, maybe once a week, hopefully. So, thank you guys.
Help it grow, guys. Help the channel grow.
Cheers.
Cheers.